Hello, friends. Robert Harris's novel Conclave was recently made into a very popular and widely acclaimed movie of the same name. It's now available to watch on various streaming services. If you haven't seen it, you should. As you know, it was nominated for several Academy Awards, including for Best Actor, Ralph Fiennes, who plays the title character. And as the title suggests, it concerns a conclave, the process by which a pope is elected in the Roman Catholic tradition. And conclaves, because by their very nature are secret and shrouded in mystery and tradition, have long been a trove of ideas and inspiration for novelists and filmmakers, because we don't really know what happens. And of course, we're always intrigued as to what really happens behind closed doors.Maybe it's not as interesting as the novelists and filmmakers think, but certainly provides lots of great entertainment. Which makes me think of a couple of other novels that deal with conclaves or with the papacy. One of them, which I've long loved, is Morris West's 1963 novel, The Shoes of the Fisherman. It also deals, at least in part, with the conclave, although it only starts with the conclave and moves on from there. But a man who is a Russian cardinal who has been imprisoned in Siberia for 25 years, is released from prison, is able to make it to Rome to attend a conclave where he is elected by acclamation by his fellow cardinals, takes the name of Kirill I, and begins a very revolutionary and progressive papacy. It's a great novel and became a not bad movie in 1968, starring Anthony Quinn as the Kirill I Pope character. But also the movie stars Oscar Werner as a character who also appears in the novel called Télémonde, who is a thinly disguised version of the French philosopher and theologian Teilhard de Chardin, who was really one of the most original and innovative thinkers in the 20th century, but whose philosophy and whose theology really ran him afoul of the Roman Catholic authorities, and he didn't have an easy time of it. But his writing is still read. He is one of our most important thinkers. So not only do I recommend the book and the movie to you, but also Teilhard de Chardin, a fabulous thinker. When I was in Mexico, I reread a very long, very literary, quite dense novel, and, fair warning, one that critics call outrageously provocative. It may not be to everyone's taste. Anthony Burgess's Earthly Powers, which was published in 1980. This is really what you would call a roman à clef, because several of the characters in the novel are really thinly disguised portraits of real people, including the narrator and main character, Kenneth Toomey, who is 81 years old when the novel opens. He's very clearly based on the novelist Somerset Maugham. And the novel opens with this man, Toomey, being visited by the Archbishop of Malta, who is needing some information about the novelist's dead brother-in-law, who had been Pope Gregory the 17th, who they are looking to canonize, and so they must discover whether certain events ascribed to this Pope's life really were miracles. And this sets Kenneth Toomey off on a rumination about his life and about all sorts of issues, the great issues of the 20th century. 82 chapters, 81 of which are for his life, and one which sort of sets the whole book up. Again, it is provocative, but well worth it. It's also very long. But the Pope character in that novel is also based on real-life characters, partly on Giuseppe Siri, who was considered a papabile 4 times. That's someone who they thought would be elected Pope, but never was. He was a renowned cardinal, Italian cardinal, in the mid-20th century, a pugilistic and controversial figure. Maybe that's why he was never elected Pope. But also this Pope Gregory the 17th figure is maybe based a bit on John the 23rd, because in the novel his dates coincide with John the 23rd's, that is 1958 to 1963. Maybe also Paul VI, who succeeded John the 23rd. I'll leave that up to you. It's not necessarily a novel about the papacy, but it is, because the whole idea of the papacy and how Toomey wrestles with his relationship over the decades with this man who became Pope are integral to the plot. So I'll leave you to discover for yourselves what that is. Anyway, that's a couple of book recommendations for you if you're looking for something to sink your teeth into now that we've turned the corner into the second half of Lent. I'll probably be back in a day or two with more book recommendations, because the more I think about these things, the more I remember books that are just so great that they deserve to be shared with a wider audience. But that's for another time. Have a great day, friends.